Lisa McVeigh is a young girl who works in a small fast food cafe. Despite her young age, she handles her duties well and finds an approach to any client. In the evening, Lisa reluctantly returns home, as she has been living with her grandmother and her husband, Maris, for several years, who uses his position and visits the girl at night to take her by force. On the way, Lisa notices a car parked nearby, but does not attach any importance to this. In the morning, she decides to write a letter to her younger sister, as she is tired of the bullying of Diane and Marisa, openly using the girl and taking away her money earned in the cafe. She dreams of a normal life, but this is impossible, as the mother is against the return of her daughter and shows open indifference towards her. Before the next night shift, Maris reminds Lisa of what awaits her at home, since today is payday, showing unhealthy interest in the girl. The man hugs her, causing disgust. After work, Lisa says goodbye to the boss and, taking the money, returns home. A car passing nearby turns sharply and chases her, but soon passes by. A little later, Lisa notices an empty car in the parking lot and is immediately attacked by the driver hiding behind the van. Bobby Long drags the girl into his car and threatens her with a gun. Lisa does not resist, as this will lead to more terrible consequences, and allows herself to be taken advantage of. Bobby takes the girl by force, but does not let go because he likes her. Having tied up the unfortunate Lisa, the maniac takes her to his home. The blindfold slides off the girl's eyes a little, so she examines the interior of the car and notices the word "Manum" on the torpedo. Going up to the maniac's lair, the girl notices a green carpet on the steps and counts their number. She manages to get a good look at the white-skinned kidnapper, who turns out to be left-handed. Trying to save her life, Lisa voluntarily undresses, after which Bobby sends her to the bathroom and then takes her by force again. After retying the girl, the man puts her on the bed and continues to threaten her with a weapon, reminding her of the possible consequences. Being in a difficult situation, Lisa remembers her loved ones, uncle, aunt, and younger sister. Only they really love her and will miss her if the girl is gone. Afraid to tell her real age, Lisa says her name is Carol, and she recently turned 20. In the morning, Grandma calls the police and reports her granddaughter missing. Betty is indifferent to her daughter's disappearance and believes that there is no need to panic. The younger sister is sure that Lisa would not have run away without warning her about this, and asks the officer to find her. Meanwhile, Lisa remembers the day she first came to Diane's house. Her grandmother had warned her in advance that Maris would take the girl by force and treated this with frightening calmness. In the present tense, Bobby once again takes the girl by force. Lisa understands that the maniac is worried about psychological trauma and, acting on him, apologizes for other women. This gives the man confidence in the victim, and he unties her hands. Detective Lopez begins searching for the missing girl and communicates with the owner of the cafe where she worked. At the same time, Bobby prepares a sandwich for the prisoner and learns from a news report about the disappearance of an underage girl. Lisa is afraid to tell the truth and claims that this is a different person. Believing the girl's words, Bobby takes her by force again. After that, Lisa asks to go to the bathroom and tries to leave her fingerprints in the bathroom by touching furniture and appliances. Looking around, she tries to memorize every little thing so that she can tell the police about it in the future. Lisa continues to have a psychological impact on the maniac and supports him. After a bad experience with women, Lisa notices that there is a phone in the house and tries to call the police, but Bobby notices and threatens her with a gun. The girl tries to make herself feel sorry for herself and says that she has a sick father at home who needs care. At the same time, she recalls a dialogue with her mother when she talked about being bullied by her grandmother and her boyfriend. Betty took it calmly. Moreover, she said that her daughter deserved such an attitude. Being a prisoner of the maniac, the girl continues to plant evidence, including a clump of hair and a hairpin. When Bobby decides to take her by force, Lisa arouses his sympathy. At the same time, she remembers how one day Lori came to visit her. Maurice wanted to take advantage of the girl's younger sister, and she, realizing this, was only ready to sow his life. 26 hours after the abduction, Bobby decides to get rid of the prisoner and takes her to a forest area. The maniac wanted to take the girl's life, but did not dare to pull the trigger, as Lisa begged to leave her unharmed. The man ordered not to remove the blindfold and wait for 5 minutes, drove away from the scene a little. He noticed Lisa running away and decided to catch her. but the girl managed to hide behind one of the parked cars. Upon returning home, the girl tells her grandmother about the visit, but Diane and Maurice do not believe her words. The man wanted to beat Lisa, but the old lady does not allow him to do this, because she needs to talk to the police. Diane informs the detective about the incident, but considers her granddaughter's story a figment of a sick fantasy. Lopez decides to personally talk to the underage girl and take her to the police station for questioning before releasing her granddaughter. With the detective, Diane warns Lisa of the consequences if she reveals that Maris is taking her by force. At the police station, the girl tells the policeman about the maniac, but there are no bruises on her body. Lisa explains that she surrendered to the kidnapper in order to survive, but the detective increasingly doubts her sincerity. A little later, female officers talk to the girl to check if she is telling the truth. Lisa describes in detail the interior of the car, the number of steps, and the interior of the apartment. The detectives do not believe that this can be remembered in a stressful situation, but the girl convinces them otherwise, as she wanted to punish the criminal at any cost. Meanwhile, detectives at the police station are working on a major case, trying to find the maniac who took the lives of 9 girls. He doesn't have a clear handwriting of the crimes. After all the victims are united by only one thing: the red fibers found on their bodies. A little later, Sergeant Larry Pinkerton, who specializes in sexual crimes, is sent to Lisa. After hearing the girl's story, he learns about a black car with a red interior, the word Manum on the torpedo, the number of steps and the green carpet, as well as the evidence in the maniac's apartment. The sergeant believes the girl because it's just impossible to come up with all this. Lori finds out about what happened and asks her mother to bring Lisa home, but Betsy is still indifferent towards her eldest daughter. A little later, the girl draws up a portrait of a maniac and declares that Maurice took her by force for several years in a row, acting decisively. The sergeant arrests Grandma Lisa's boyfriend and helps the girl pack her things. Lisa is afraid to sleep at night, but tells more and more details about the kidnapper. At some point, Larry realizes that Lisa's abuser and the serial killer are one and the same person. The analysis of the girl's belongings only confirms this assumption. Realizing that Lisa is in danger, the sergeant takes her to a teen protection facility and introduces her to his daughter, a girl of the same age. Therefore, Larry sincerely wants to help Lisa, fearing that his daughter might be in her place. 2 days later, the analysis finally confirms the fact that Lisa was a victim of a serial killer, but, fortunately, she was able to survive, trying to help the investigation. The girl agrees to go to the place where Bobby left her before running away, reconstructing the route from memory. Lisa reports her movements to the maniacs. Soon, one of the detectives notices a similar car and, deceiving the driver, takes a photo. Lisa wakes up at night due to a nightmare in which a maniac tried to strangle her. After seeing the photo taken by the policeman, she confirms that it is Bobby. The police detain and arrest the maniac in his car. They find the bloodstain that Lisa left and realize that they did everything right. In the criminal's house, the police discover hair, a hairpin, fingerprints, and other evidence proving his guilt. The next morning, the detectives inform the girl of the successful arrest and applaud her for her help in catching a dangerous maniac. Sometime later, Lisa contacts Lori and thanks her sister because she is the only one who believed her and influenced the police to start an investigation by throwing away a farewell letter. Lisa warmly hugs the sergeant and says goodbye to him. Carol and Jim come to pick up their niece to take the girl to their place. A couple of months later, Lisa sends a letter to her mother saying that she has finally become happy and found a loving family. After staying with her uncle and aunt for a couple more years, the girl joined the police and became a deputy sheriff, investigating crimes committed on sexual grounds. She is currently a happy mother and grandmother, and the sergeant remains her best friend. Bobby was executed by injection only in 2019, 35 years after the crimes were committed. And that's where the movie ends.